Hey, look, it's Fantasy Blitz. No BS, just Blitz. We're here today. There's actually not going to be an air compressor that goes off during the show. It'll be pretty great.
Hopefully.
So I'm your host, Nick. This is also your host,
Adam. Let's go.
Let's do it. So today's going to be kind of a wacky show because we're going to go kind of rogue. We're going rogue. I need to pull up your data here.
This is it's going to be a weird one this week just because it's been pretty slow news-wise. There's really not a whole lot for us to talk about. I mean, it's the Jonathan Taylor news. It's the TJ Hawkinson news. Guys want to get paid. You know, we're tired of hearing about that this year. And then the only other thing that actually just broke earlier this afternoon was Jerry Jeudy getting injured, which is still kind of up in the air. Like, what happened?
I don't know.
It was rumored it was like a hamstring thing or something, but we'll see. Outside of that, it's been dead slow since last week. Like, dead slow, which is a good thing for teams. Like, not a whole lot of flopping around, not a lot of injuries. Like, it's been quiet. Let's just get to the regular season in one piece and move on. So that being said, this week we're kind of shifting our focus a little bit more towards the draft content because right now is when all the teams are starting their drafts.
Everyone's drafting.
Everybody's starting draft. I do my big league on Saturday. So we're going to focus on some draft advice. We're going to cover players that we really like per round. Obviously, we're going to be doing a 12-team PPR formatting just because that's probably the most common now. If you're doing standard, you got to keep up. And we're just going to go over our favorite players, some tips, some advice that we like on a per round basis.
Yep. So really just trying to, again, bring you the information you need to win in your league. I will be posting a community post, and I'll pin it, for the Open Fantasy Blitz League. You'll be able to play against Adam and I. I think I'm just going to have it be like an 8-team or 10-team league.
Something small.
See who we can get in there. It's going to be fun. It'll be free. It'll be for bragging rights only.
Yeah.
But it'll be cool. Let's go ahead and get into it here. So we're going to do some finagling. We're going to do some this. We're going to go and then, just use your little peen tool. It's going to have to be thick.
There we go.
There we go. All right, go for it.
Perfect.
Go nuts. So pull up your data.
Basically, I'm just going to be talking about, it doesn't really matter where you're drafting in these rounds. These are just like our personal preference picks. Let me get this pulled up right here.
He's using FFA.
Yeah, shout out my guy, Fantasy Football Advice. His rankings are elite always. Granted, there's some things I disagree with that we'll kind of get to, but most of it's like pretty solid on here. So starting off with my personal first round guy, and this is going to be a little bit weird for some people because it's Cooper Kupp, and people are like, but Stafford, but his hamstring, but the Rams are going to suck. Nah, it's Cooper Kupp, man. Yeah. It's Cooper Kupp. Are we forgetting 2020 and 2021? Or actually, no, 2021 and half of 2022. Yeah. Like, dude was a stud. Yeah. He set a record in 2021. Like, nobody had ever seen it. He was putting up QB numbers every week.
Yep, so he got Kupp.
And then he starts off 2022 doing the same thing, but even more. Like, he was on pace for over 2,000 yards. Like, what is that? And now it's like, okay, we're fading him because he has a hamstring injury. By the way, he's back at practice. So, like, wake up a little bit. That's my favorite first-round thing. I think he's the only guy on there that can compete with Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson as far as a per-points basis.
Yeah, for sure.
So
for sure. And it's interesting because Cooper Kupp, and I swear I'm actually going to do this video, but when it comes to veterancy in being a wide receiver, the older you get, your production can go down, but that's offset by the game slowing down for you. And when wide receivers are around 28 to 30 years old, they are at prime time.
Yep.
Because they still have their physicality and youth, but the game is very much slowed down. So like Devontae Adams, Cooper Kupp,
Diggs now.
These guys are literally in their absolute prime for being a wide receiver. So I was dogging Kupp for like, maybe 30 years old, but then I did some more digging. I'm like, he's probably going to post up and be a baller. Even if Matthew Stafford is a little herky-jerky, Stafford can still ball out, and there's like good vibes just all over Stafford right now and all over Cooper Kupp. I'm bullish on Cooper Kupp. He's a first rounder for sure. If you can get him anytime, that's a good grab.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to break tradition and not do running back.
I know. I knew it was coming.
Not do running back.
I knew it was coming.
With a PPR league, you really have only got two options, and that's Austin Eckler and that's Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah. So which one are you taking? Who's your favorite?
So I'm probably going to take Devontae Adams.
Just
because
the real man's pick.
Just because I've seen so many people in drafts scoop these guys up. And Devontae, even if you're at like 10th pick, you can still get Devontae Adams.
Easy.
And I think
I've seen him slip second round.
Yeah, and that's insane. If you are, especially a lower pick, which I prefer to either be like first or second
Obviously,
or the dead last.
Yeah, I agree.
Because you get that like do-si-do pick. Great. But even if you're at like 10th pick or 14th pick and you can pick up Devontae Adams as your 14th pick, you have set yourself up for
He's
really,
a stud.
Yeah.
He is a bona fide stud, always has been, always will be. I don't want to hear that he's not QB proof. He is, and he's done it every single QB he's ever had.
Stop fading him.
Every QB he's ever had.
Get your name out of his mouth.
Draft Devontae Adams, please.
Draft Devontae Adams, please.
I've seen him fall into the second round. If you can get a first round guy and Devontae Adams, just do that.
Yeah. Okay. So
Second
before
round.
we move from round one, there's a lot of big names here.
Oh yeah.
If you couldn't get Kupp, who are you going to next?
It's tough, honestly. Kelsey. I like
wow.
Kelsey a lot. Here's the thing. I talked about this in I think 2 weeks ago in our last video.
Yep.
That guys like Kelsey and Derrick Henry scare me because I know the second I draft them, their knees are going to explode and they're going to be horrible and you can't do anything with them. That being said, Kelsey balled out. He always balls out. Yes. And so I'm like, okay, if I can't get one of my top receivers, which if you're in the middle or the second half, like it's going to be a little tough getting one of the top 5 receivers. Grab Kelsey, man. That advantage at tight end position is so big. People forget how big of an advantage that is. Like most people, if you're not getting the top 3 guys, maybe even top 2 tight ends, they're getting 10 points on their team. But if you get one of the top guys, you're getting 25, 30.
30.
Goodness gracious, that's insane.
Yep. Explosive results. For me, this is where I'm going to revert to the mean. If I can't get Adams, I'm getting.
Yep. That's a real man's pick right there.
This is hardcore football pick. I'm telling you, Nick Chubb is going to go off. He's probably going to set a league record this year because he's in his absolute prime, okay?
Yep.
He's I think 26 years old, which 26, 27 is the absolute peak of performance for a running back, and he's right there. He's been in the same system. He knows it.
And he performs every year.
Every year.
People forget.
The dude's he's the new Frank Gore, okay? His trail off, most running backs go like, right? It's just like a ski slope.
Yep.
Frank Gore's was like this.
Yeah.
It was amazing. I'm like,
and he did that for 30 years.
Yeah. Every year I could just take Frank one round later and he would still produce. It was so awesome.
So I'm glad that Nick Chubb is getting at least the first round value that he deserves.
Yes,
Because he balls out every single year. And even I'm a victim of this. Like, I forget about him all the time. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Nick Chubb was he was insane. Like, that's a good pick. I love that. I love that. Let's get to round 2.
Let's get to round 2. Boom.
So we're obviously not going to do all of the rounds. We'll probably end up stopping at like 6, 7, 8. Just because, the last 5 rounds, just take the guys that you like. Take what you need, fill in some spots. Round 2, let's see. This is kind of tough because I want to say Mark Andrews round 2, but I think in a lot of situations, a lot of leagues, you can get him into early round 3. So I'm going to change that a little bit and just go with, hold on, where'd he go? Let's scroll back down a little bit. There we go.
Got him.
And I think you should take Amon-Ra.
Amon-Ra,
St. Brown.
Okay.
PPR, the PPR god.
Yeah, he's got great hands. Amon-Ra, he's still in Detroit. He's still in the same system.
Yep.
So, Detroit's going to have a glow up this year.
Oh,
They lost so many games just by literally, they were like the Chargers of the Midwest.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's going to repeat.
No, I think they're going to be really good this year. Amon-Ra has proven for the past 2 years that he's like a PPR machine. He's going to get 10 receptions every game and 100 yards and then maybe a touchdown toss-up. That's about as good as you can get for second round value right there. Like I know Adams and Diggs and A.J. Brown and all those guys, they're going to be gone right at the start of the second round, into the first round. So you got to start looking at guys like Amon-Ra, Garrett Wilson, even further into his numbers are insane.
His targets, 119, 146.
146 targets.
That's crazy. His second year in the league, he posted over 1,000 receiving yards with 146 targets.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
He's probably going to be pushing close to 200 targets.
And now,
year.
like, people are a little bit concerned because Jahmyr Gibbs is coming in. They're like, well, he's going to take a bunch of targets. It's like, well, maybe, but also T.J. Hawkinson's gone. He's on the Vikings now. So there's a bunch of new targets there to be had. It's like his volume is not going to change. I don't think at all. If anything, I think it goes up a little bit just because the repertoire with Jared Goff is going to get a little bit better. So I think he's a solid pick, about as solid as you can get for second round. Like, you're not getting crazy upside. He's probably not going to go off for 40 points or something, like a Cooper Kupp or like a Tyreek Hill's going to do. But he's about as good as you can get for second round value. Who you got in a second?
Yeah, I'd have to go with Olave.
He's so good. He's so good. I wanted to say him, but I was like, you know what? I think you can get him in a third, like kind of the same thing as Mark Andrews, but go ahead. Talk about that boy. I love him.
I mean, look, Chris Olave, he's been not only just ripping it up in practices, he's gotten some really good rapport with my guy, Derek Carr, okay? Derek Carr loves him some wide receivers, okay? They bro down at all times. Now, look, I'm a Raiders fan through and through, but I'm also a Derek Carr fan. He's been shafted most of his career. Kind of like Riley Reid. So it's just kind of been terrible just to watch. Yeah, you can walk off. You can come back at any time. But I really think Chris Olave, especially when you have Alvin Kamara just like down there throwing bows, is going to really open up Chris Olave. If they didn't have Kamara coming back, everyone's going to be sucked to Olave, but now you got to split your decision making.
Michael Thomas is there.
Am I going to leave Thomas open? Which I'm kind of over Thomas.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. But
he's still there.
Yeah, he's still that wiry guy that can just go pew on a go route. So now you got Thomas, you've got Kamara. Olave's just going to ball out this year. So who's your backup pick?
So the backup, I mean, I kind of mentioned it a second ago with Garrett Wilson. I'm a little bit weird about Garrett Wilson because I'm a Packers fan. I watched Aaron Rodgers last year, and it wasn't Aaron Rodgers. Like, yeah, he's still like can make those insane throws, and he's obviously an upgrade. This is why I'm taking Garrett Wilson. He's obviously an upgrade for Garrett Wilson. I mean, he had Zach. I mean, I can't even remember his name right now. The Jets quarterback. Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson, the worst quarterback I've ever seen touch a football. Sorry, buddy. And he was still Rookie of the Year. By the way, if Olave doesn't get hurt second half of the year, Olave's Rookie of the Year. Guaranteed. He was balling out, and then he got a concussion or something second half of the year and kind of missed a bunch of time. But anyways, Garrett Wilson, he has Aaron Rodgers now. The Jets are loading up a little bit on offense. They look pretty good. If Aaron Rodgers can play half of his MVP year caliber, then Garrett Wilson is going to be a top 5 guy. I mean, he's just got the talent. He's super young. It's his second year, which is crazy. Super young, super talented. Now he's got a good quarterback, not a lot of target competition at all. He's poised for something bigger than last year, which is crazy.
Yeah, I made the mistake of watching Hard Knocks.
Thank you.
So now I'm like a Jets. I'm like pulling for the Jets now. Here's the other thing, and this isn't alpha. If you've watched Hard Knocks, you know what's going on. Garrett Wilson is training against Sauce Gardner, who is a very good safety.
It's the same thing that happened with Devontae Adams. I mean, you can look at all of the really good, or most of the really good wide receivers. Cooper Kupp going against Jalen Ramsey for a while. Devontae Adams going against Jair Alexander for a while. Like, these guys go against elite corners for practice. And so that's going to make them elite wide receivers when it comes to a game.
And it's for that reason why Wilson is also my backup pick. So probably Nick's probably going to be wide receiver or running back and wide receiver.
I'm doubling
up. WR. Okay, let's get to round 3. I'll pull this out. So round 3 is where things start to get a little dicey.
It is. And I'm going to do something that y'all are not going to like again.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of up in the air whether Mark Andrews is going to go round 3 or round 2. I'm telling you right now, he's going to go round 3. I have seen him go round 2 like once or twice. A lot of the rankings have him really high, and that's because he's going to be really good, but people just aren't drafting him there. My pick is Mark Andrews for round 3. If you can start out, at least what I would love to do is start out doubling up on wide receiver, then snagging Mark Andrews, that's some upside. And you know me, we talked about this in the very first episode.
Explosive upside.
I love my upside. I'm okay if my team busts, let them bust. But if they got the ceiling, I'm breaking the roof.
Yeah, he goes for those demoralizing victories where you're posting 200 points.
Oh yeah, that's all I want. That's all I want.
It's Sunday afternoon and you're like at 2:02, you're like, fuck.
But I mean, like Mark Andrews, he's a stud. He's back fully healthy and he's still a pretty young guy. I know people think he's like Travis Kelce age. He's not. He's pretty young. Lamar Jackson's back. Their connection's going to be like pretty elite again. I don't know if you remember 2 years ago, Mark Andrews was a tight end 1.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
people kind of forgot. Like,
that's true.
When Lamar Jackson and Mark Andrews are healthy, he has tight end 1 position or potential, and he's going in round 3.
1,000%.
Like, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
If I'm taking guys, like right now I'm taking people like Cooper Kupp who could potentially get wide receiver 1. People like Mark Andrews who can potentially get tight end 1. Like, if you can get these guys that have that kind of crazy upside, you got to go with that. You have to.
Yeah, shout out to the chat. There's actually a couple people watching live right now. Appreciate y'all. Go ahead, throw us some questions in the chat. Hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button. The other upside for Andrews, real quick, is they're going to be throttling back Lamar Jackson running around.
Yeah.
So he's going to be throwing the ball more. There's your upside.
That's all you need.
For me, first of all, I don't know why Ramondre Stevenson is still freaking overvalued. Third round? No, incorrect.
I think late third round is okay.
Late third round. For me, I'm going to go with Ridley.
Oh, I'd love to hear this. I'm not a Ridley truther, but I know people are. I know a lot of people are Ridley truthers.
When Ridley is in the first position, he rises to the occasion, and he's had time to, Trevor Lawrence has had time to really get comfortable with the system in Jacksonville. I think Jacksonville and New Orleans are really going to be combative this year. I mean, they're going to run the whole division.
Yeah.
Because they're the only 2 good teams in the South.
Yeah.
Let's be really honest here.
Yeah.
So they're going to be going at each other's throats the whole year, and I really think this is going to be like T-Law's glow up, and part of that glow up is going to be Calvin Ridley. He's got good hands. He's still got great speed. He's a veteran now. Again, going to that rubric of, do these wide receivers have experience? Calvin Ridley is almost at the peak of his career.
He's got experience.
Getting Calvin Ridley in the third round is spot on for your results.
Does his missed time scare you at all? Because he's missed a lot of time. He's 3 years off right now.
He did, yeah, I know. But
That's a lot of time.
I don't think he did. I don't think it's bad because I know he did all the juke routes and stuff in preseason camp, but he's not holding back.
That's true.
Right?
He looks good.
Yeah, he looks
real good.
Yeah, I mean, he's got those, backyard football routes, but the mere fact that he's going all in on preseason and he's not holding back at all shows to me that he wants it. He wants a ring, okay? People are starting to understand that if you want a ring, you have to play with a good team. Tyler says, Nick Tater, what's going on, bud? Love the chat. Love you guys. Let's move on to, do you want to do our backups real quick?
We'll just roll it to round 4.
Okay.
I think at this point you should have your main guys, at least your top 3. And so now you can sort of get a little bit flexible. So we'll just cover our top for round 4. Which, there we go.
This is where it gets dicey.
Yeah, so in a lot of situations, you can get guys like Deebo Samuel, Keenan Allen, all those guys, which are really good. I, however, am a little bit on the quarterback side of this.
That's a little early.
It's a little early, but here's the thing. The top 3 guys are going to be gone. And even Lamar and maybe even Joe Burrow are going to be gone.
Allen, Mahomes,
Hurts,
gone. They're all gone. Yeah,
guaranteed.
For sure.
Then you got Lamar and Joe Burrow, who are probably going to be gone by the time you get to the back half of the 4th round, maybe even the middle of the 4th round. They usually go late 3, early 4. And so I'm kind of on the spot of the drop off in quarterback. Justin Herbert, Justin Fields.
Yeah, it's done.
That's the cliff right there. Like after that, you get pretty far. I mean, so these guys, I think Justin Herbert, who is my pick by the way.
Okay.
Hold on.
Herbert, good. Some of the best hair in the business.
Oh yeah. Well, he had that buzz cut phase, which was. Oof. But anyways, he has so many weapons this year. Yeah. The Chargers are loaded right now. They just drafted Quentin Johnson. They still have Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler, and he has running upside. I know they're saying that he's going to run less, but the guy who has potential to throw 4,000 plus yards right now, and you can get him this late, I'll take that. I'll take that. He's got the possibility to be a top 3 quarterback. I mean, he really does.
They'll lose half their games, but he'll throw for 4,500 yards.
That's the beauty of it, though. That's the thing with fantasy. He doesn't have to be a winner.
Yeah.
He just has to get. So if they're losing, he's throwing more.
Love it.
I love it.
Love it. So
that's my guy.
For me, that's a great pick. Even though I'm more of like a 6th round QB grabber, I am going with Travis Etienne Jr.
All up on the Jags this year.
I say, look, the Jags, they're slept on. Tej makes yards, he makes plays, and he's a good catching back, okay? He's not going to get supplanted by his handcuff. Like, he's basically the bell cow in Jacksonville until further notice. Trevor Lawrence is going to be dumping off to him a lot because from my memory, if my memory serves, they have one of the easiest strength of schedules out there, or they may be in the middle.
I think so. Their division's easy.
Yeah, their division's easy. So if they're going to be doing easy games, they're going to get out in front early, and then what are they going to do? They're going to hand it to Tej, and he's going to take the game.
I like him. I think he's talented. Yep. The only thing that scares me, and I know you mentioned his handcuff not being a super big piece, but also Tank Bigsby's a stud, man.
Because his name is Tank.
Well, and we mentioned that I think last year I was saying, or last week I was saying, if his name was John Bigsby, like people wouldn't be taking him as high. But like he's good. He's good, and they have talked him up a lot, and he's looked great in training camp. Yep. So I think, ECN's really good.
Yep.
And he's going to get the majority of the work, but there's also like Tank Bigsby could kind of settle in there a little bit and get those, late down rolls, which would be awesome.
Yeah.
But I still think Etienne's awesome for the 4th round. That's a great pick.
We do have a question from Tyler. It says, do you guys think the nonsense COVID restrictions will affect football at all?
No, I think the NFL's done with it. They really
the players are done with it.
The players are done with it. Yeah, it was hard to get them to do anything with COVID restrictions in 2020 and 2021. It was hard to get people to take a vaccine over there. And then 2022, like last year, I don't really think we saw anything with COVID stuff in the NFL. So I think another year removed from the whole thing, I think we're good. I don't think you see anything like that.
Nope. Round 5.
All right.
What's it looking like? Oh, we got Darren Waller. Okay.
This one's a nasty one.
Yeah.
I do not like round 5 at all. In fact, I'm fine. I even like some of the guys. This is sort of, I was mentioning I disagree a little bit with these rankings that we had pulled up. There's some guys further down in the round 6 territory that I like more. That being said, round 5, I think with the current strategy that I was advising, which is the wide receiver heavy up top, and then you take a tight end, then you take a quarterback, you got to start looking running back now.
Yep, for sure.
And with me, my running back guy is Rachaad White. Or Dameon Pierce, if he's there, he's probably not going to be there. Rachaad White is the guy in Tampa Bay. He has no competition whatsoever.
Yeah.
Like, their other guy, Tyler Davis, I think. And they haven't gotten any press or anything like that. Rachaad White's the dude. I think Tampa Bay is going to be a little bit better than people think. They still have Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, so like, I know it's Baker Mayfield. He's the worst. He sucks. I hate watching Baker Mayfield. But I think they're going to be okay. I think they're going to be just okay enough to give Rachaad White a little bit of touchdown upside. He's still really good. He's a pass-catching back. Like, it's just a really solid, safe pick for your first or second running back if you're going wide receiver heavy up top, which is what I like. And then also, just to touch on it a little bit, Dameon Pierce also kind of in a similar spot. He's just the dude. I know they brought in Devin Singletary. Don't worry about Devin Singletary. Dameon Pierce is the dude. Rachaad White's the dude. Like, those guys are going to get all of the work. And so, like, that's all you can ask for this late in running backs. But I think they have breakout potential. Dameon Pierce already kind of broke out a little bit. They have, like, really good potential this year.
Devin Singletary is the 3rd and short back, and that's it.
It may be even then. Like, even then, he's, I don't know. I don't think they're going to use him too much. They really like Dameon Pierce there. They really like Rachaad White there. Those are my guys.
At this point in the draft, you're looking at filling your flex, or you're looking at your quarterback, something like that. So for me, I'm probably still going to hold off on QB. I don't think by now I've actually gotten a tight end. So this is one of those rounds where I'm going to be really seeing who is a special little gem. Maybe some splash, some spillover from round 3. If there are some round 3 tight ends, which are not really ranked here at all.
That's what I was saying with the Mark Andrews thing. He goes in round 3.
Yeah, so for Hawk, like you can get Hawk, I'd probably go with Darren Waller. Just to scoop him up. D. Waller, but it's going to be a toss-up between Waller and Terry McLaurin.
Okay.
Because
I like Terry.
Yeah. Terry?
Scary
Come on,
Terry. Scary Terry.
Terry Mack. Okay, so we all know Darren Waller. He's a good, solid tight end. He's going to be getting stuff. He's on the Giants, so Daniel Jones is going to be doing good work with him. He's going to kind of be the blow-off gasket. People are sleeping on the Commanders this year. I think the Commanders are going to surprise a lot of people. And Terry McLaurin is in that mix of being a well-seasoned veteran wide receiver.
He's a stud.
I'm on the Sam wagon, okay?
Yeah.
I'm on the Sam wagon.
You better
Sam Howell, I think, is going to put up some numbers. And Terry McLaurin is going to be the guy that's going to catch the balls.
Yeah.
So at this point, I filled up my flex.
Yeah.
And I'm feeling kind of saucy. So in the next round, on round 6, is where things get cray-cray.
Yeah.
So what are you looking at in round 6?
So round 6, I'm still, if you remember, I was saying I'm still kind of needing some running back help in round 6. If you had asked me 2 weeks ago, I would have said Miles Sanders. Mm-hmm. Something's happened over there. Yep. And Miles Sanders is like maybe not practicing, maybe like hurt or something. So now my round 6 guy, J.K. Dobbins. Going back to my Ravens train, I think that since Lamar is going to be running a little bit less, or so they say, J.K. Dobbins is going to be running a lot more. He's looking good. He's healthy. He's a year removed off his injury. Yeah. And he's a pass-catching back. Like, he's just a good running back. Yeah. And these are the kind of guys in the 6th round. These are the kind of guys that you need in these middle rounds, because if you do something like I'm doing where you're really, really wide receiver, tight end, QB heavy, then you're going to need these guys that you can get 6th that have the potential to be really solid and get a lot of work, which J.K. Dobbins is going to get. If he can stay healthy, which he probably can, he's still really young, and he was looking good last year. If he can stay healthy and they can be successful, he's going to be good. He's going to be really good. Yeah. And he's the guy. Like, I'm not worried about Gus Edwards. I'm not worried about that at all. Or Kenyon Drake. I'm not worried about them.
No,
like,
not right now.
That's fine.
Not right now.
Give me Gus.
This is when it's going to get really crazy because, and you're not going to like this pick, but this is the dark horse, okay? All right. Because I'm on the fence between picking up like Kyle Pitts or picking up Michael Pittman Jr. Only because there's only one guy that's going to catch the ball in Indy.
It's true. It's true.
There's only one guy that can catch the ball. You gotta throw it to someone. I'm sorry. It's so gross, though.
Yeah, Michael Pittman, I get it. Here's the thing. When 2 years ago...
He's going on my bench.
Yeah, that's fine. 2 years ago, Michael Pittman was like, I would have compared him to Amon-Ra St. Brown. Yeah. I was like, he's PPR guy. Like, there's nobody else to catch the ball. Like, he's going to be good. And then something happened last year.
I know.
I don't know what it was.
Well, it's because of Matty Ice.
I mean, that was bad.
I think it was just, I think the whole culture was gone, and Pittman was like, you know what? I'm not going to get injured. I'm gonna save it till next. He throttled down. He throttled down.
He sure did. He sure did. Maybe that could be what what happened. I don't hate that at all. I really don't. I think he's going to be a really solid guy. Personally, I'm taking guys like Christian Kirk over him a little bit. Yeah. But Michael Pittman, I mean, he has the potential to have 100+ targets, which would be insane for this late in the draft. But he has that kind of potential. I don't know how much touchdown upside he has, but I like that. I like that.
This will be the last one, round 7.
All right.
Let's get into it.
This is another tough one. However, I'm going to counter your Terry McLaurin with my Jahan Dotson. That dude, he is such
Wait, where is he?
He's
there he is.
right there. Yeah. He is such an athletic freak.
Yeah.
Like, if you watch him play, it's like, wow, this kid is crazy. It's his second year. Yeah, it's his second year.
That's good.
Like, he's super young. The Commanders are kind of trying to get things rolling again. Sam Howell's going to be okay, I think. Yep. And Jahan Dotson gets so many red zone looks. And if you look at his metrics, like, he's successful against man, press, zone. Like, all of his percentages are off the charts. He's just a talented guy.
He is. Yeah.
And so I think this late, looking at guys that had the potential to not only like improve off what they did last year, but like really improve off what they did last year. I mean, competing with in this range, you got like Mike Evans, Marquise Brown, and I don't really like any of these. Brandon Cooks, like, these are all vets now.
Yeah. Brandon Cooks is aged out. I don't think he's just going to be. He's WR2.
He's good.
Right? He's 2.
Yeah.
On Dallas.
Yeah. He's good. But I'm taking the young bloods with all the upside over the safer
upside guy.
I mean, yeah.
You can't help people.
I'll give it to you. Mike Evans. Safe pick. That is as safe as you can get.
Yeah.
Brandon Cooks will probably be a safe pick. Man, I want that upside, though.
I know.
Give me that Jahan Dotson upside all day.
Yeah, no one's going to fade you if you're picking Mike Evans in the 7th round.
Not at all.
It's fine. Even George Pickens, I think, is a pretty good grab for 7th round.
I like him as well.
For me, now, and these rankings are interesting. These rankings are very interesting.
They are.
Based on these rankings right here, I would go with Daniel Jones.
Okay.
So
taking your QB, your late
QB. Late QB. Jones is not going to put up amazing numbers. He's going to have 3 amazing games where he does 40 points, and that's it. And then he's going to pull in a solid 18 every single week. And that's fine because I've already stacked the box with all of my fantastic receivers. Chris Olave is going to get 35 points a game. It's just the way it's going to be. So, yeah, I mean, that's your round 7. There you go. Daniel Jones, he's got Jahan Dotson. So, Daniel Jones has got weapons. He's got a healthy Saquon for as long as Saquon decides to be healthy.
Now recently re-signed Saquon for a year.
Yeah.
So I think the Giants, are going to be better. They've got Darren Waller now too, which is really nice. Daniel Jones, he's poised to be better than he has been previously. Yep. He's got the rushing upside.
Is this 4th year?
Yes.
Or 3rd year?
I think it's his 4th.
Okay.
He's got the rushing upside. Yep. He's going to be good. He's going to be good. I don't.
He does have the falling down upside too.
He does have the falling down upside at the end of his rushes.
The unassisted tackle upside.
Yeah, he scares me a little bit just because Giants.
Yeah, I know.
But if you're taking a QB right now, that's as good as you can get. Yeah. I like that. I like that a lot.
Okay, real quick before we go, are we still fading OBJ?
Yeah.
Oh man, that hurts.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. He costs in drafts. You got to pick him. But you can get guys like Zay Flowers a little bit. I think he goes a little bit later. Yeah. And you can get Rashad Bateman. I know he gets hurt and he's hasn't really proven himself. He's still young and he's still talented. And you can get him in the last pick of your draft.
Yeah.
He does not. He does not get drafted. And it's like if I'm going to take a Ravens receiver, I'm not going to spend a lot of money on him because all of them are question marks. Zay Flowers, I think, is your best bet, but they're all question marks. So let me just drop the very last pick in the draft and grab Rashad Bateman and just then I have my guy on the Ravens and we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. There's really what you want to have printed out when you're doing your draft is you want to have all the starters, you want all the RB1s, and you want all the WR1s. Okay. And if it's round 13 and there's a WR1 still out there, freaking get him.
Yeah, grab him. Nico Collins.
Yeah.
I know, the Texans are going to suck. Yeah. He's their guy.
The ball's got to go somewhere.
It's got to go in the air somewhere.
It's got to go somewhere. They're not just going to kick the whole game.
Yeah.
Even though they may are trying to tank the season and do that, they can't do that. So I think that's it. Appreciate all y'all. Chat's blowing up. This is great. This is
what we got
the best concurrent. 5 concurrent.
Look at that.
Kyle Davis. What's up, Kyle Davis? Hudson Hancock.
I said put it in reverse, Terry.
Put it in reverse, Terry. Tyler hung out for a little bit. Appreciate y'all. Look, hit that like button. Comment below on what we should name the Fantasy Blitz League.
Yeah.
We want to know that. And also comment below on what you want us to cover. Because remember, here at Fantasy Blitz, it's no BS. It's just Blitz. Appreciate y'all.
I want to hear what y'all got. Who are y'all's picks?
Oh, yeah.
Who are you taking? I don't really want to hear the number 1, number 2s. Who are you taking 3, 4, 5? That's where the money counts.
That's where the money counts.
Tell me who you're taking in those spots.
Yeah, we want those money shots.
Come on,
we got to end the show. We got to stop this show.
Yeah.
End this stream right now.
Hopefully it helped.